Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, Ben Carson makes an announcement that might shake up the GOP. Find out what he said.
And some Syracuse hospitals are facing backlash for patient complaints.
And a top ISIS member is taken out by a U.S. airstrike.
Those stories and more, this is Citrus TV News.
From the Citrus TV studios, this is Citrus TV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Good evening and welcome to your final Citrus TV News Live at 6 of the year. I'm Monica Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. DPS is doing what they can to keep your belongings safe while you're on vacation. That's our top story tonight.
As students are preparing to leave campus for winter break, DPS officers have the security of campus on their minds. Citrus TV News reporter Rebecca Castor sat down with Public Safety Officer McCurdy to find out what students can do to ensure they will not be victims of crime while they're away.
With winter break right around the corner, DPS wants students to be aware of the safety precautions they need to take before leaving campus next week.
Over the winter break, because there's students that aren't there, we're concerned about burglaries, people breaking into their apartments while they're not there. First and foremost, we want the students to coordinate, when they're going to leave with their roommates and make sure whoever leaves last locks the front and back doors. We'd like you to close your curtains so that people can't look into your apartment and perhaps see, what kind of stuff you have in there. And also the light in the rear needs to stay on. That helps us and our officers when they're doing their property checks.
Now, what about the students who are staying on campus for the break? Officer McCurdy said,
Just to be alert, not to let their guard down, and if they see anything suspicious or people that they don't recognize, to definitely, call public safety right away.
Students can enjoy their break knowing that DPS officers will be increasing their patrol of campus, specifically on South Campus, while they're away. I'm Rebecca Castor, reporting for Citrus TV News.
Students at SUNY ESF will be getting a new transmission electron microscope after the National Science Foundation granted more than $1 million to the school. The new microscope will be used in human and plant health, nanomaterials, pharmaceuticals, and ecosystem health research.
The annual 10 Tons of Love charity drive is happening now through December 18th. All donations will be given to the First English Lutheran Church and then distributed to those in need. They're collecting books, clothing, bedding, and more. If you wish to make a donation, you can drop it off at stations across campus, including Shine, Archbold Gym, and Hendricks.
And a new form of pub could soon be hitting the streets of Syracuse. That's right, hitting the streets. Two Syracuse men have designed a new pedal-powered pub resembling a tandem bicycle in order to let pub goers enjoy the city while at the bar. The Post-Standard reports innovators Michael John Haggerty and Mike Giannatasio designated the pedal pub to reflect Syracuse's identity as a, quote, drinking town. And the federal government is penalizing two Syracuse hospitals for high rates of patient complications such as infections and bed sores. Krause Hospital and St. Joseph's Health Center are two among 758 U.S. hospitals facing the penalties, which means the hospitals will have their payments from Medicare reduced by 1%. The penalties for all U.S. hospitals total more than $360 million. And coming up after the break, a Taliban attack strikes the Spanish embassy in Kabul.
And a former Oklahoma City cop is convicted of rape charges.
And well, we may be heading home for winter break, but it doesn't feel much like winter. 55 degrees outside right now. I'll let you know what to expect in the week ahead when Citrus TV News returns.
With a commanding 8-goal lead.
The weekend usually is a time to relax and unwind from the pressures of work and school. Unfortunately, the weekend is also a time for many people to abuse drugs and alcohol. Listen to the words some people use when they talk about the good time they had over the weekend. They say, I went to a party Friday night and got plastered. Or, Saturday night, I was really wasted. Maybe they didn't have such a good time after all.
This message furnished by the NCAA.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised.
Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Thank you, dear. Well, you're very supple. Just like I was at your age. Back then, I was a sex expert. Used to call me the buttered biscuit. I know about birth control, too. So you can ask me anything, baby.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
Have you had sex in this car yet?
And Hillary Clinton is no longer laughing about Donald Trump. The presidential candidate sat down with late-night host Seth Meyers last night, days after Donald Trump's proposal to ban all Muslims from entering the U.S.
Clinton says Trump's comments are not only shameful and wrong, but dangerous. Trump has stood by his comments despite major backlash from politicians around the world. And the FBI is searching a San Bernardino lake for evidence related to the shooters who carried out an attack last week.
Investigators say it's possible the attackers threw weapons or electronics with evidence into the lake before carrying out the shooting. FBI agent David Bowditch says the search will be thorough and will last several days.
2 Louisiana marshals have been indicted for the murder of a 6-year-old boy.
The boy was shot in the passenger seat of his father's car back in early November. His father was also wounded in the shooting. Derek Stafford and Norris Greenhouse have been indicted for the murder. And a former Oklahoma police officer charged with sexually assaulting 13 women has been found guilty. Daniel Holtzclaw was convicted on 18 of 36 counts of sexual assault today and will likely face a life sentence.
Prosecutors accused Holtzclaw of targeting poor black women with criminal backgrounds while on patrol. All 13 women testified in court, and many said the officer promised not to arrest them if they kept quiet.
Protests continue in Chicago today as demonstrators voice their outrage towards the police department.
Shouting 16 shots and a cover-up in reference to the shooting death of teenager Laquan McDonald, protesters are still calling for Mayor Rahm Emanuel's resignation.
Emanuel has apologized for the handling of McDonald's case, but has said he will not step down from his post.
The GOP field may soon be down a member. Ben Carson is threatening to leave the party.
The presidential hopeful voiced his concern over Republican leaders manipulating the party's nominating process. Many GOP members have grown worried about Donald Trump's popularity in the polls.
Should Carson leave the party, it could mean a third-party run for the neurosurgeon that many Republicans fear could split the GOP.
The Taliban has claimed responsibility for suicide attacks in Afghanistan Friday, according to the group's Twitter.
The explosion in Afghanistan's capital rocked an area close to where numerous embassies are located and a number of expatriates live. Heavy casualties are being reported. And Switzerland is on high alert today as police search for 5 suspects related to the Paris attacks.
Swiss authorities raised the alert level as a precaution after U.S. intelligence warned them of an active terror threat in Geneva. Police are looking for 5 radicalized suspects believed to be a part of the terror network that recruited one of the Paris attackers.
National authorities are working in close collaboration with international police.
And the United States-led coalition against ISIS confirmed the death of the terrorist group's finance minister.
A spokesman for the coalition announced the senior member was killed by an airstrike in late November.
The announcement coincided with the release of the U.S. Treasury Department's plans to hinder the flow of cash into ISIS's hands. And ongoing for the past 12 days, today was supposed to be the final day of the climate talks in Paris. The talks will last at least another day as the French foreign minister announced he will present the final accord tomorrow.
The final agreement requires support from all 195 countries gathered in the talks in order to take effect. If approved, the deal will be a historic feat in combating climate change and transforming the use of fossil fuels. And Vladimir Putin has vowed to improve the Russian military to take out any target threatening them.
Speaking to Russian military officials earlier today, Putin said strengthening and modernizing Russian forces is a key priority. He also said Russia has been giving aid to anti-Assad forces in Syria, a change from previous Russian military action.
Temperatures neared the 60s today, and it was bright and sunny out.
Citrus TV's Nick Ross gives us the full weather forecast.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, another warm one out today. 55 degrees outside right now, and that high today, 59 degrees. It's December 11th, keep in mind, and we're still sitting at near 60-degree temperatures. Not something we're used to seeing here in Syracuse. Partly cloudy for most of today, with those winds staying fairly light. Tonight, overnight, not going to cool down too much. 40 degrees, no chance of rain overnight, though. Always nice to see. As we look out across the live and telecast radar, you'll see as we move into tomorrow, we'll start seeing some of these showers begin to move in towards the Syracuse area. That's going to push in right around the middle of tonight into tomorrow morning. And as we look out a little wider, we'll see there's actually quite a bit behind this system that's moving toward us. And when we take a look at the full 5-day forecast, you'll see exactly what that's going to do to us weather-wise next week. As we look out across the entire country, you'll see things are going to cool down very slightly with this front that's kind of moving across the northeast here, but those temperatures are still going to stay much warmer than we would usually expect for this time in December. As we look out across the entire country, you'll see some little flurries here and there, but overall the country as a whole staying a lot warmer than we typically be seeing this time of year. As you're looking to travel home for the winter break, you'll see any of this weather, any of this rain not affecting air travel across the country very much at all. A couple little delays here and there, some pockets of rain that might cause you a little bit of something to worry about, but Saturday morning tomorrow, you're looking mostly clear, at least getting out of Syracuse. As we look at tomorrow, 53 degrees and mostly cloudy as your forecast for tomorrow. 20% chance of rain, as I mentioned, that'll move in from overnight into tomorrow morning, but those winds will stay fairly calm. As we look across at next week at the full 5-day forecast, we'll see a 40% chance of rain come in on Sunday and a 100% chance of rain on Monday. So watch out for that, but the temperature, 61 degrees on Monday, will definitely be very nice and comfortable if a little bit wet.
All right, Nick, it's the question we've been asking you all semester. We're looking at some rain next week, but when are we going to see that snow?
Well, until these temperatures get down cooler than they have been, we're not looking at any snow anytime soon. Don't know if we're going to have a white Christmas this year.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Nick. And after this, a massive iced tea recall for reports of glass in the bottles.
And I'll have all your entertainment news. Don't go away.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
A 1 million subject study from Britain found there is no hard evidence that happiness improves health. The study followed 1 million middle-aged women for 10 years. The authors started the study to research the common held belief that unhappiness can cause disease. And a study in New Zealand has found that Tylenol is ineffective in combating flu symptoms. The 80-person test group showed nearly no differences in effectiveness between the drug and a placebo. The co-author of the study has said there is no clear evidence that it helps or that it is harmful. The Australian doctors suggest the best option for fighting the flu is getting the vaccine. DuPont and Dow Chemicals have announced a merger that will make them the second largest chemical company in terms of sales in the world. The two companies will be named Dow DuPont and then split into three companies focusing on agricultural products, specialty products, and materials. The merger will be a nearly even split in both shareholders and board members. And Sweet Leaf Tea Company is voluntarily recalling 6 flavors of teas for glass in the product. The 16-ounce glass bottles were sold between February 27th and December 6th of this year. The company, which is owned by Nestle Waters, says it has received 4 complaints but no injuries. And now for all your entertainment news, let's check in with Monica. It's Hammer time.
Another big celebrity is speaking out against Donald Trump. Nicki Minaj responded to Trump's comments to ban Muslims from coming into the U.S. In an interview with Billboard, Minaj said she thinks Trump is hilarious and hopes someone films his presidential campaign and makes it into, quote, the ultimate reality show. She also noted some of Trump's comments wouldn't be so horrible if they weren't so childish. Kristen Cavallari's brother's remains were found in Utah Thursday. Authorities say the cause of death could have been exposure to the elements. Police had been looking for Cavallari since November 27th when his car was found abandoned. His body was found about 5 miles from his car with no sign of suicide or foul play. Janis Joplin's 1964 Porsche has sold for almost $2 million at auction. The car was originally expected to sell between $400,000 and $600,000. The rock and roll legend brought the car back in 1968 and had it painted with a mural of landscapes, birds, butterflies, mushrooms, floating eyes, and skull-like faces. And John Madden is recovering in a San Francisco hospital after recently undergoing successful open heart surgery. The broadcasting legend and Pro Football Hall of Fame coach underwent surgery to repair blockages. A statement released by the NFL said Madden was released from the hospital Wednesday and is expected to make a full recovery. And for more in sports, let's throw it over to DRB. What do you have for us next?
Coming up in sports, the Orange men's soccer team is currently playing against Clemson in the Final Four tournament. SU men's basketball faces off against St. John's Saturday, and the Orange women's basketball team gets a very tough test against Arizona State Saturday in the Dome. We'll have all that and more. Stay tuned.
Another season of Orange basketball excitement will be here soon. Wisconsin, North Carolina, Notre Dame, and Pittsburgh are all due in the Dome. Will you be there when this happens?
One, lets it go, hits!
Will you be there when Dish happens? Will you be there when Swish happens? And Coach Q wants you there as well, as the women's team looks for its 4th straight NCAA tournament berth. Season tickets are on sale now at the Carrier Dome box office, Cuse.com, and 1-888-DOME-TICKS.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Welcome to Orange Press Pass.
Orange Press Pass is your ticket inside the Syracuse locker room. Hear from the coaches.
8, and we didn't win 8.
We got some open looks from the perimeter
and players.
Well, I saw pressure coming from the backside.
Get in-depth analysis, reports on site, and more.
Let's go on OPP.
Orange Press Pass, live after every Syracuse game.
The Orange men's soccer team is currently facing off against Clemson in the semifinal round of the NCAA Final Four Division I tournament. This is the first ever appearance for the Orange in the Final Four, and Syracuse is coming off of a 1-0 victory against Boston College in the quarterfinals round. CitrusTV Sports JP Chunga is tweeting live updates on the Syracuse TV Sports Twitter handle. Currently, the score is 0-0. The Orange face off against the St. John's Red Storm Saturday for the Battle of New York in the Garden. The Orange's front court has struggled on the boards since the beginning of the season, and with interim head coach Mike Hopkins just entering his third straight start at head coach, things are going to get a little tougher for the Orange. Q's starting front court is averaging 12.2 rebounds a game, while the Red Storm's starting front court is averaging 12.6 rebounds a game. If Q's plans to take down a 6-3 Red Storms team, they have to get through 6'11 center Yakumbe Sima, who is the better half of the Red Storm's front court, averaging around 7 rebounds a game. The Orange have a tough test ahead of them with a win over the Red Storm. The team will improve to 8-2 and may re-enter the AP poll ranking of the top 25 teams in the country. Tip-off is set for Saturday at noon. The Orange are ranked 19 in the NCAA women's basketball ranking following their win against Coppin State 88-56. But the Orange next test is against Arizona State this weekend in the Dome. This will be the second meeting between the two teams in 3 seasons, as the Orange are now in the driver's seat, as this will be their third game against a ranked team this season. The Orange will get the opportunity to redeem themselves after a tough loss against Tennessee, but convincingly losing by 2 points. 2 weeks later, the Orange would suffer a devastating loss against number 5 Maryland. But if the Orange plan to get the win against the Sun Devils, their offense will have to play a lot more consistent than when they played against Maryland. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Saturday in the Dome. The Syracuse volleyball team landed 2 All-State honorees to the class of 2016 today, Mackenzie Weaver and Kendra Lucox. Weaver is an outside hitter and a middle blocker from Canada. Her 51 kills is a single match set the record for the kills in the state of Ohio. Lucox is an outside hitter from Alberta, Canada. She was a 4-year team captain at Bishop Carroll High School and led her team to a city championship in her freshman year. SU will have to make up for the production of a 4-year outside hitters Silverte Yotuve, Monica Silgue, and Nicolette Sertora, who are graduating in May. The 7-5 New York Jets face off against the 3-9 Tennessee Titans Sunday. The Jets are coming off of a huge win against the New York Giants. The win didn't just mean a win over their New York rival. This team looked to have hit its stride, with the Jets quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick and receiver Brandon Marshall finally getting on the same page. Marshall received 12 receptions and went for 131 yards. They will put their chemistry to the test Sunday against the Titans. Tip-off is set for Sunday at 1 p.m. at MetLife. The New York Giants face off against the Miami Dolphins under the bright lights of Monday Night Football this Monday, as they look to take control of the NFC East first place spot. The Giants have lost 4 out of their last 5 games, but intend to get back on track Sunday against the Dolphins. Tip-off is set for Monday at 8:30 p.m. The Buffalo Bills play the Philadelphia Eagles in a key matchup Sunday, as both teams are in contention for the wild card spot in the AFC East. Things over the past week within the media have gotten a little heated as LaShawn McCoy prepares to return home to face his former team. Tip-off is set for 1 p.m. Sunday in Philadelphia. Moving over to the NBA, the Knicks will be continuing their West Coast road trip Saturday against the Portland Trail Blazers, as they intend to bounce back from a tough 2-point loss, 99-97 on Thursday in Sacramento. The Knicks will face a young, maturing 9-10 Portland Trail Blazers team. The Knicks, as of late, have struggled to play a consistent up-tempo 48 minutes of basketball, and in order for them to get away with a win Saturday, they cannot repeat the same slow start against their next opponent. Tip-off is set for 10 p.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, Saturday, the Brooklyn Nets will be at home facing a strong Los Angeles Clippers team, but as of late have been very unpredictable. The Nets have won their last 2 games and intend on extending their winning streak to 3 games. Tip-off is set for 5 p.m. at Barclays.
After the break, we'll take one last look at your weather.
We'll be right back.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
And now, Nick Ross, you're back for Wake Up Weather. So when I wake up tomorrow, what should I put on to go out?
You might want to take a jacket with you. Might want to take along that umbrella too. Some of that rain that we're going to be seeing into next week is going to start moving in overnight. Might move in towards tomorrow morning as well. There might be some showers.
Alrighty, thank you.
And as you said, temperatures are going to be hitting the 60s. What are we looking at next week as the high?
Highest temperature we're going to see on Monday, although it will be a little rainy. That high is going to be 61 degrees, so nice and warm for December here in Syracuse.
Wow,
All
great.
right, thank you, Nick.
And as we get ready to sign off here, stick with OTN for more sports news on Q's Countdown and entertainment buzz on Syracuse Unpeeled.
And you can watch Citrus TV content every night from 6 to 8. And now, Monica, as this is our last show, the last News Live at 6 show of the semester, what's been your favorite memory of anchoring so far?
It's been such a great semester. It's really hard to pick just one memory. I don't know, what about you?
Well, I have to say, I have to give a shout out to you and to our wonderful producer, Kathleen. For those of you who don't know at home, the three of us have been best friends since freshman year, and it has been my absolute pleasure to work with both of them. Y'all do great work. And a thank you to our crew, everyone here who just makes it fantastic, including our floor director, Hunter, who is always a hoot. He makes it hard to not laugh coming back from a break. And it's been a lot of fun. I look forward to what next semester brings.
Same, definitely. It's been a great semester working here with everyone. Let's bring back weather anchor Nick Ross. What's been your favorite moment?
My favorite moment is my own ingenious idea of catching a pumpkin during our episode that
I forgot that happened.
Was near Halloween. So
I'm glad you did that because
it was very athletic. It
I cannot
be the most
catch.
athletic thing I've ever done.
I can't catch. There's a reason I sit behind here and don't cover sports at all. It's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. All right, thank you, Nick.
Lots of good times here at Citrus TV this semester, and that's all we have for you this evening and this semester. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in January. I'm Monica Hammer.
And I'm Jacob Reynolds. Special thanks once again to our news crew for all their hard work. Good luck on finals and have a safe break. Travel home safely. Good night, Syracuse, and have a wonderful holiday season.